There are many new developments on the front line today. The Russian army continues to carry out offensive operations against many points on the front line and beyond. But the Ukrainian army is repelling the Russian attacks with a strong and determined defense. There were exactly 57 armed clashes in the last 24 hours. The Russians carried out 5 missile attacks and 75 airstrikes. Now let's take a look at the developments on the front line. The Russians maintain their military presence in the Siversk and Slobozhanske directions. Ukrainian troops are organizing operations in this region to prevent Russian troops from moving freely in this region. Ukrainian troops are setting up mine and explosive barriers along the state border in the Belgorod region to prevent the Russians from deploying in the region and continue to strengthen the existing barriers. Although Russian attacks in the direction of Kupiansk continue, the impact of the attacks is quite low. The Russians, who carried out 10 counterattack operations around Sinkivka and Ivanivka, failed in these attacks. Ukraine announced that it repelled 10 attacks carried out by the Russians. The Russians had no tangible success in Kupiansk. There was no effective Russian attack in the Liman direction. However, the Ukrainian army is prepared in the region against any possible attacks. There are also important developments in the Bakhmut direction. The Ukrainian army successfully repelled Russian attacks in this region. The Russians attacked Ukrainian positions near Kromove, Klachivka and Andriivka and tried to destroy these targets but failed. The Ukrainian army announced that it had repelled 15 Russian attacks. However, there were also developments in the South Donetsk region. Russian troops also organized unsuccessful offensive operations in this region. The Ukrainian army responds to failed Russian attacks with offensive operations. The Ukrainian army causes the Russians to lose equipment with its offensive operations. Ukraine is gaining confidence by further strengthening its positions after the unsuccessful Russian attacks in the region. Let's come to the front where the conflict is most intense. On the Avdiivka front, the Russians maintain their presence in the region with air operations. However, the Ukrainian defense in this region is doing its job quite well. The Ukrainian army is applying an active defense strategy and inflicting serious losses on the Russians in the region. The Russians carried out counterattack operations in the Siversk and Pervomaiske regions but failed. The Ukrainian army successfully repelled 7 Russian attacks here. There were also important developments in the Marinka direction. The Russians are carrying out a lot of offensive operations in this region, but these attacks do not bring the results the Russians want. The Russians again organized more than 20 offensive operations in this region. These attacks were repelled by Ukrainian defense blocks. Although the Russians allocate a lot of resources to the Marinka front, they cannot break the Ukrainian defense blocks. What do you think about the defense of the Ukrainian army on the Marinka front? Russian forces carried out counteroffensive operations in the direction of Shakhtarsk in the Donetsk region, but these attacks were repelled by the Ukrainian defense. The Ukrainian offensive in the Melitopol area continued. Russian forces in the region are unable to resist the intense Ukrainian offensive and are losing heavy equipment. Russia continues to lose military personnel and equipment in this region. In the last 24 hours, the Ukrainian Air Force has carried out 9 attacks on Russian personnel, equipment and military hardware concentration areas, and 3 attacks on anti-aircraft missile systems. Continuing its attacks, the Ukrainian army hit 5 radar stations, 2 ammunition depots, personnel, equipment and military equipment concentration areas, 2 command posts, 3 anti-aircraft missile systems and 11 enemy artillery. We will continue to convey the latest developments on the front line to you every day. You can write in the comments what you think about the developments on the front line.